With humanity at a crossroads, we wonder whether we'll plunge into devastation or take flight and soar. As our hearts yearn to know our destiny, we turn to the clues and messages left by seers, saints, and prophets of the past. In divine guidance, let's explore their visions and predictions that can help us navigate today's troubled waters and reach the shore of a better, brighter tomorrow. In our last episode, we examined the First Nations Rainbow Warriors prophecy, which speaks of a new people emerging on our planet to teach humankind the values of the coming new world or golden age. We found that these rainbow warriors include the compassionate activists around the world who are calling for an end to our abusive practices toward our animal friends, Mother Earth, the unborn, and one another. Who else is included among the Rainbow Warriors? Let's find out more from the book, Legend of the Rainbow Warriors by Stephen McFadden, an independent journalist and healer who has written about First Nation prophecies, the wisdom of indigenous elders, and sustainable agriculture.
But then, light would come from the east, and the natives would begin to find their strength, their pride, and their wisdom. So would many of their brothers and sisters of the other nations, white, yellow, and black, who would feel strongly the calling of spirit. These awakened souls will find each other, and together they would teach all the people of the world to have respect for the Earth Mother, of whose very stuff human beings are made.
The verse, light would come from the east, reminds us of our most beloved Supreme Master Qinghai, vegan, whose physical body was born in Ao Lac, also known as Vietnam, which is considered to be in the Far East, based on the old European division that split the world between the East, or the Orient, and the West, or the Occident. As a young adult, she followed her lifelong calling and embarked on a journey of more than 2 years in search of spiritual understanding. In the high Himalayas, she found an enlightened master who taught her the Kuan Yin method of meditation, an ancient practice that has been passed down through a lineage of spiritual masters from time immemorial. This method directly connects one with one's God nature through contemplation of the inner heavenly light and sound. After a period of practice, she became a fully enlightened master. Since then, upon the invitations and requests of sincere spiritual seekers, Supreme Master Qinghai has held lecture tours in Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, and the Americas, teaching the Kuan Yin method to people of all races, religions, and backgrounds who feel strongly the calling of spirit. Many people have witnessed the extraordinary divine light that emanates from Supreme Master Qinghai.
以前读佛经时，有读到有位古佛会再来救度众生，他的名字是无量光佛。有一次我去国父纪念馆听师父讲经，师父一出来发全身金色的光，我当时哭了，觉得我找到了释迦牟尼佛说的那位古佛。
And then the first time at the door I came in, I saw you. It's so beautiful. All the light, and then you walk so fast. And so what I saw is the same. The foot you didn't tap on the ground. Yeah, not like your foot. And then hold your body. It's have a light.
Thể nghiệm thứ nhất là bên trong của con thấy vầng hào quang và ánh sáng cực mạnh từ đôi mắt của Ngài. Thể nghiệm này con đã kể với sư phụ gần 30 năm trước. Lúc đó khi con ngồi thiền, con thấy ánh sáng trắng chói lóa, nhưng luôn ngại khi nhìn thẳng vào đó. Trong cái khóa tu đầu tiên ở Bình Đông, con đã nhìn thấy ánh sáng này một lần nữa. Lúc đó thì con đi xuyên qua cái luồng ánh sáng này và thấy sư phụ với một luồng sáng vàng lớn, tuyệt đẹp, đơn thuần, thanh khiết, có rất nhiều tia sáng trắng phát ra, chuyển động không ngừng từ đầu của Ngài. Và bên trên là vầng hào quang hoàng kim. Dạ, thể nghiệm thứ hai là con nhìn thấy Ngài trong ánh sáng trắng, trong hình dạng Quán Thế Âm Bồ Tát, với một quần sáng vàng dày như lửa bao quanh toàn bộ thân thể của Ngài. Con cũng tự nhủ bản thân, hãy cứ nhìn thẳng vào ánh sáng màu trắng, rồi từ trung tâm cơ thể của sư phụ, trái tim của Ngài tỏa ra một ánh sáng vàng rất là lớn về phía con. Con chìm vào trong ánh sáng. Con nhìn xung quanh thì tất cả đều vàng rực. Dạ, thể nghiệm thứ ba là khi con đi đến một trong những cái cõi thiên đàng thì con thấy sư phụ đang thuyết pháp trước rất là đông người. Khi kết thúc bài thuyết pháp, Ngài tỏa ra một cái luồng sáng màu vàng khổng lồ và bên ngoài là một quần sáng màu tím nữa. Thể nghiệm cuối cùng là khi con nhìn thấy ánh sáng trắng đặc như hàng tỷ mặt trời chiếu vào mắt Ngài,
etc. As a true beacon of light, Supreme Master Ching Hai has dedicated her life to uplifting our planet through a multitude of means, including launching the Positive Spiritual TV channel, Supreme Master Television, inspiring the development of Loving Hut, the international vegan restaurant chain, initiating countless humanitarian projects around the world, creating soul-awakening art through painting, music, poetry, fashion, jewelry design, and more. Inspired by Supreme Master Ching Hai's loving, noble, and selfless example, our association members of all colors and races are united in practicing spiritually, adhering to the compassionate vegan diet, and working for world vegan and world peace.
From November 30th to December 12th, our association members from around the globe joined to participate in the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP28, held at Expo City in Dubai. In reaching out to the event's numerous international attendees, our association members sought to highlight the vital role of veganism in addressing the climate crisis. Through vibrant vegan promoting banners, diverse traditional dress, colourful national flags, music and dance, the vegan message conveyed by our association members attained considerable visibility among both conference attendees and media outlets.
Vegan. Make veganism the law. Make veganism the law. World vegan, world peace. Make veganism the law. Be vegan, save the planet.
Additionally, our association members prepared and gave out 1,000 delectable vegan meals daily to COP28 participants and event personnel, along with alternative living flyers and Supreme Master Television information.
Our shared ideal is expressed through the design of the Global Family Brooch, the flag of our association, and the logo of Loving Hut Vegan Restaurant, created by Supreme Master Ching Hai. The 6 rainbow-colored hearts in the design include the colors of all 4 races: red, white, black, and yellow, alongside green for the earth and blue for the ocean. It seems as if members of our association are also rainbow warriors led by Supreme Master Ching Hai. – Supreme Master Ching Hai's light reached the Americas in late 1989 and the early 1990s when she gave a series of public lectures in various countries. She has since met representatives of the First Nations communities, giving them much needed spiritual and material support. In 1993, Master chanced upon the respected medicine man of the Squamish Nation, Thomas One Wolf, and they formed a strong bond. At that time, two devastating disasters took place in the United States: the Great Flood in the Midwest and the Laguna Beach wildfire in California. Supreme Master Ching Hai lovingly contributed hundreds of thousands of US dollars in relief aid while she was there for a lecture tour. At an interfaith prayer ceremony for the victims after the Laguna Beach wildfire, Master happened to sit next to Thomas One Wolf. Immediately recognizing that Master was someone special, Thomas One Wolf offered her a feather, which was his personal emblem, as a symbol of high honor according to his nation's tradition, and gave her the following message.
The elders want me to greet you with honor, that you are the Great One. Thomas One Wolf, addressing Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Thomas was telling Supreme Master Ching Hai about his father, who was 95 years old, and his father had told them about this great messenger that he was about to meet, and that this messenger would be bringing the world to his door. And when he met Supreme Master Ching Hai, he believed that she was that messenger.
Her wisdom is knowledge shared. So every word that she speaks, when she is being of lightness and happiness and sharing a joke or that way with you, remember something. The only word you're really hearing is joy. When you are walking with her and you see people that will respect and honor her way and pay homage to her, then you are gifted by the gift of her peace. These are what masters are to the Indian. This is good that a whole world can hear. That the dragon from the east meets the eagle from the west. And they come together and they say, I love you. Then that is the world message.
Coincidentally, from the early 1990s, news and signs began to emerge indicating that the indigenous communities in the North American continent were beginning to rise again, finding strength, pride, and wisdom, as prophesied by Stephen McFadden in his book, Legend of the Rainbow Warriors. For example, the United States Congress passed favorable measures to better acknowledge and support indigenous citizens, including the Native American Languages Act 1990, the Indian Arts and Crafts Act 1990, the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act 1990, and the Native American Free Exercise of Religion Act 1993. In recent years, several First Nations communities have been able to reclaim their ancestral lands. For instance, in 2020, the Aslan First Nation regained ownership of nearly 1,200 acres, about 4.86 square kilometers, in Big Sur, California. On February 12, 2021, another indigenous community celebrated an important event in its history in Minnesota.
The Lower Sioux community is celebrating the return of ancestral land with great historical significance.
This land transfer signals a renewal.
Heal ourselves, and also we are trying to come back and to nurture the land and heal the land as well, because the land carries a memory, it carries a spirit.
In 2023, Sugarloaf Mountain near Goss, Texas, was acquired by Tonkawa First Nation, which used to have the largest population in the area.
They say that this is where the creation began, and the Tonkawa people were the very first. And so the Tonkawa tribe inhabited this country for a millennium. Basically, we're reclaiming something that we've always believed was ours to begin with.
In commending the incredible gesture of Roger and Linda Welsh, who voluntarily gave their land back to its original owners, the Pawnee people, the Honorable Walter Echo Hawk, president of the Pawnee Nation of Oklahoma, said the following:
When it comes to our native people, it's all about the land. And there's nothing better that one can do than to return the land.
Through the efforts of the Land Back movement, officially launched in 2020 by the indigenous organization NDN Collective, more lands are expected to be returned to our First Nation brothers and sisters, who will be able to reconnect with their roots and rebuild their communities and cultural identities. Also in 1990, former U.S. President, His Excellency George H.W. Bush, designated November as Native American Heritage Month in recognition of the contributions and achievements of Native Americans. In 1992, the first Women's Memorial March honoring the lives of missing or murdered Indigenous women and girls across Canada was held in Vancouver. This event is now held annually across multiple cities in Canada with thousands of participants. The year 1993 was proclaimed the International Year for the World's Indigenous People by the United Nations. The same year, a Hopi prophecy was fulfilled when spiritual leaders from the Algonquin, Hopi, Huichol, Iroquois, Lakota, Maya, and Mi'kmaq Indigenous nations were invited to address the United Nations at the Cry of the Earth conference. The leaders shared various prophecies about the times and stressed the urgent need for humankind to take better care of the planet to avert a global ecological collapse. In 1994, 300 representatives of the 547 recognized Native American nations met former President, His Excellency Bill Clinton, a Shining World Leadership Award for Compassion Laureate, in a historic first-of-its-kind meeting at the White House.
Mr. President, on behalf of all 547 federally recognized tribal leaders invited to this historic meeting, we express our most sincere appreciation to you as the first sitting president ever to invite all of us from small tribes, medium tribes, large tribes, Republicans, Democrats, and independents to this, our White House.
I say to the leaders of the First Americans, the American Indian and Alaska Natives, welcome to the White House, welcome home. So much of who we are today comes from who you have been for a long time. Long before others came to these shores, there were powerful and sophisticated cultures and societies here. Yours Because of your ancestors, democracy existed here long before the Constitution was drafted and ratified.
All of these positive developments signify that the First Nations people began to wake up when the divine light from the east, embodied by Supreme Master Qinghai, reached North American soil about 3 decades ago. Joined by other like-minded groups from all walks of life, Rainbow Warriors have been teaching the world about returning to the traditional value of respecting and protecting Mother Earth. In the next episode, we'll explore more auspicious signs related to the rising of the First Nations people after the arrival of Supreme Master Qinghai on the North American continent, as well as the prophecies behind this providential connection and occurrence.